Email deliverability is one of the biggest challenges. Make sure your website is mobile enabled. We've been talking a lot about how to craft emails, how to build the emails, what type of content to put in there. Today we're going to focus on how to build a relationship through email. Now think about it this way. When you started dating your husband or wife, there were certain things that you did. You didn't just immediately jump right into, hey, let's get married. But you went out on a first date, you talked, you wined and dined, you spent time together, you found out what they were interested in, and you played off those things. You went to find out, what was important to them. The same thing holds true when you're building a relationship through an email. Now, you have to look at it from a little bit of a different standpoint here than maybe dating, but in all reality, you're trying to build a relationship with somebody because you want them to do business with you. So what I always like to do when I'm looking at that is I like to go back and just kind of do a little summary sheet of what makes my ability as a salesperson and what makes my dealership that I work for stand out from the crowd. And what I like to do is you take a list and you make a list. Just maybe start going to the top. We have a free shuttle service. We do service loaners. We have Starbucks coffee. I'm the top salesperson in the country. Only joking. All the things that make you stand out, and put that list together. Now, you have to understand email is a relationship building tool, and as we talked about in a previous session, you only have a limited amount of content you can put in an email because it's just going to get ignored if you put too much in there. So with email, it makes it nice because it can be a relationship building tool. So by taking these bullet points that we kind of go through about the features and the benefits and what the advantages of doing business with you as a salesperson is, you can then take those and literally expand on them. For example, if you were the top salesperson in the dealership for the last 6 months, that's something you should talk about. And you could say something like, one of the benefits of doing business with me is that I've been the top salesperson in the dealership. I have the highest customer satisfaction rating, and I would love the opportunity to earn your business and add you to my family of satisfied customers. That right there in itself is an email. You can start the email out by simply saying, Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones, just want to touch base and give a little bit more information about that Ford Taurus you were looking at, but also I wanted to let you know that I am, when you talk a little bit about yourself. And you're building the relationship. You're sending out a couple emails. The thing is that you don't want to do with email marketing is you don't want to constantly be hammering these people with emails about why, the car and the price and how you're going to do this and you're going to, and all the salesy stuff. Stop with the salesy stuff. It doesn't work. Relationship is what we're trying to build here. And the way you build a relationship is by simply communicating with these people. I love Jim Ziegler. He's one of the trainers on the platform, and he talks about when you're doing relationship building, sometimes you just call up, just to call up. Hey, this is Jim Ziegler. I'm not here, trying to sell you anything. I just wanted to call and say hi, see how you're doing, how the family's doing. It's a great way to build relationships, deepen that relationship. Talk about the kids. It's all Sales 101, but you're converting the Sales 101 into what you're doing with the email. So when you're building a relationship, you have to step back for a few minutes and say, you know what, I gotta put a brakes on the salesy stuff. I'm going to be sending out some salesy stuff. This is going to be focused on why they should do business with me. And if you take the time to build your laundry list of all of the advantages, and you send out multiple emails, I'm not saying one email or two emails, I'm saying this should be something you do over the process. Keep in mind, for a lot of customers, the buying process is 90 days. So if you're going to be communicating with these people for 90 days and kind of keeping in touch with them and using some automated emails, you could very easily literally write a dozen different emails that you've got in the can, and all you got to do is cut and paste and put them into the email template and send them out. But what you're doing is you're keeping your name and the reason why they should buy from you front and center. So at some point when they're ready to make that decision, hey, who am I going to call? I'm going to call Peter Martin. You know why? Because he's the top salesperson over at XYZ Motors. You want to do those things because, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not, saying negative, but your competition is doing what they've always been doing. They're sending out automated emails. They're sending out, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to drop this. We're going to do that. And you know what? You want to set yourself apart from all of that other, noise out there in the marketplace. You want to make sure that when they think about buying a car, they're thinking about going to somebody they can trust, that they like, and that they want to do business with. And the way you do that is by communicating your value proposition to them. And you don't send out one email with all of the great things that you do and list it all out and stuff like this, because then it looks like you're bragging. If you follow this process where you're sending out multiple emails, with each email talking about something special, maybe one email talks about why they should do business with you. Maybe one email talks about why they should do business with your dealership. Maybe one email even talks about why they should come in and have service done in your dealership. All of these features play into the decision-making process. The other piece that you want to encompass into what you're doing here is also your online reputation. I know everybody's worried about their dealership's online reputation. You want to make sure that you also put some energy into your online reputation. We're going to talk about that in the online reputation section. But if you have a good online reputation, if people are saying nice things about you, if you have a Facebook fan page, things like that, you want to direct these people to those pages. I love Facebook. If you have Facebook, you want to send people, ask them to be your friend on Facebook. I also recommend with email that you take the time to, invite them to link in with you. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you need to get one. We'll talk about that in one of the other sessions and go into more detail. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, go check in the social media section. There's a session I'm doing on LinkedIn and what the importance of LinkedIn is, and you'll get some very good benefit. But you want to tie all of these social things that you're doing back to those people, because the more they know about you, the more they see, the more they hear about you, the more likely they are going to come in to buy a car from you. And the other nice thing about building a relationship with people is when it comes time to negotiate, the negotiations are a little bit easier. I'm not going to say they're a laydown, but it's a little different because now you're doing business with somebody and there's that trust factor. And I've actually had people say to me, Peter, you know what? I could have gotten that car cheaper over at this dealership, but I wanted to buy it from you because I trust you and I like you. That's a pretty good thing to hear. And if you follow these steps and utilize email properly, you are going to have a lot of success, but build long-term relationships. And with those long-term relationships are going to come a lot of referrals, because those people you're doing business with are going to want to send their friends to you. This is Peter Martin, the Webdoc. Tune in for the next session. And if you haven't taken a look at the LinkedIn session, go check that out a little bit later today.